And at one point he's telling me that I look just like my mom, but like in that kind of way.
Oh,
Like you look just like your like ew. And
no,
that
no,
was
thank you,
just
sir.
yeah, and that was just the beginning of like weirdness. And I broke up with my dad. And then, yeah, over the years, when like I would be recreating the trauma, now that I'm looking at it with relationships, I very easily and sometimes a little too easily walk away from shit if it's not right. Like, okay, well, maybe let's just try to attract people in my life that I don't want to break
A lot of
up
work. It's a lot of work to
with.
like reprogram that thing and recognize those patterns. That's
Yeah.
also a big part of the show is that, it's not necessarily about your dad. It's about anybody in your life that is toxic
Yeah.
and is affecting how you view, being a good person or love and warmth in your life. Like we can't have those people around us.
MeMeCherry presents a series of fortunate events. Fortunate events. Fortunate events. A series of fortunate events.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, everybody, to the latest episode of the series of Fortunate Events, a podcast brought to you by who? It's still me, and I am so excited today to be joined by.
Hi guys, I'm Chanel Ali. I'm a stand-up comedian and a writer and just a fun lady.
Yes, I'm beyond excited to introduce you all to the amazing guest that I've been following for years. Comedian, actress, writer, Chanel Ali. Some of you may know Chanel from her hilarious stand-up, her Comedy Central special, or her sharp takes on social media, including Reasonable Doubt Mondays, which was a hot hit for us on Twitter for a long time. But for me, I first discovered Chanel way back through the Keith and the Girl podcast. Shout out KETG. Lots of KETG. It's trend alert for this season for sure. And so I also was very inspired and prompted recently to have Chanel on the show, and I poked extra hard. And I'm going to quote you because there was a tweet that you sent out, and I was like, oh, must talk on the pod. And I'm going to quote you. Quote, in 2023, I booked a commercial that tested my DNA and revealed I had a brother. I asked my cop dad about it, and he denied it. A cop denying DNA evidence? Well, that became funny to me. So I wrote a show about it. Come see it. And it happened at the Edinburgh Festival. First of all, pause. The show's name is Break Up with Your Dad, which
Break up with
I
your
have
dad.
done.
Because if you can break up with your dad, you can break up with anyone.
That's what I say, which I've had to unpack in therapy.
It's good. Look how far we've come.
So tell me, how was breaking up with your dad?
Well, the experience was not as funny as the
Yeah,
show is, but
sure.
I also wasn't raised by him, so I didn't meet him till I was 18.
Sure.
So
Yeah, because you were a foster child. Yeah.
So to kind of like be later in life introduced to the father-daughter dynamic, I remember I had
Yeah.
ideas about what it must have been like to have a dad because of like TV and movies. And it
Yeah.
was always some teen girl who was just like, my dad just doesn't understand and he won't let me see Robbie. And it was just like
Yeah.
they always had this energy of just being really annoyed with their dad, no matter if they liked him or loved him. And so then I got a dad and I was like, oh, this kind of sucks, yo. Like
I
hard.
love how it's like I went to the dad store, I got a
Yeah.
dad.
I added on the dad package and I was like, wow, this is heavy.
Amazon Prime.
So I think I had a different dynamic than most people that when my dad started to do egregious things, in my opinion, I had already experienced life without a dad. So I was like,
Yeah.
boy, you can get the hell out of here. Look, I'm really busy. Okay. I
Yes.
really don't even have time for this shit. I'm finding out about brothers now. I can't even do a commercial without your shit getting in my
Without
shit.
trauma.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I just thought this was a cute little booking I had, and boom,
I
I
can't
said,
be gainfully employed without trauma hitting me in the face.
just as much as I try, all your shit is in my way. So yeah, I'm really proud of the show. It's in Edinburgh, a lot of the crowd described it as like a very emotional roller coaster. This lady outside in the street,
Sure.
she was like, I was like, she was like, I just kept crying and laughing and crying and laughing. She was like, I never experienced anything like that. And so I'm really
Yeah.
proud of it because I can see that it helps people heal and talk about things that they've experienced. And, I'm proud of this thing that I made that's not just funny, but, really feels like a statement on self care, really.
Yeah. It's cathartic.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. Talk to me about, first of all, how do you get a show like booked at a festival like the Edinburgh Festival? What's that process like?
There's a couple of ways, but really you could register on your own if you just have
Oh,
some money and a good idea of what you want to do, what you would like to bring there. I've been lucky enough to work with a production company every time, so the last 2 years that I went, they set it up for me and picked a venue, and like I'm really,
sure.
really was super blessed. But then when you get there, like you have to sell tickets, you have to stand outside, and the whole city
Yeah.
comes alive, and people like audience
Are
members
you
are like,
barking?
I did a little bit. I'm not much of a barker. I gotta say, my name is Chanel, and it's like you just gotta be a fancy lady,
Yeah,
like
I love that.
you know.
Yes, that rich ladies don't bark.
It's
They
really not
meow.
for me. It's really not for me, and I'm not that good at it. But
So for the
luckily,
listeners of the podcast that might not be as inside baseball as us, what is barking?
oh yeah. So barking is when you stand outside and you go, "Comedy over here. We got comedy," and you just try to
Who
talk.
you like jokes? I
Hey,
I
hey,
hand
hey!
them.
You look sad. Get in there. And
You
it's
look
just
sad.
it's like barking to get people into a show. And in the culture
Yeah,
in Edinburgh Fringe, that's like 60% of your sales are from people being outside. But you also, if you're not going to do it, if you have the budget, you can pay somebody else to do it and coach them,
sure,
tell them what to say, which I was lucky
sure.
to do this last time. And I was like, yo, just like if they have a dad with them, just tell them come over here.
I love outsourcing the barking. This is a new for me. I love that.
It's very Chanel, and I support it. Yeah.
Yes, employing people.
Mhm.
You're an economy builder.
What am I gonna do? Walk around all day and talk to people? I gotta write these. I'm busy. I gotta write these jokes.
Okay. Are you trying to, is there like another step to this project? Does
Yeah,
it kind
sure.
of like end here? Like what's the future of breaking up with your dad?
Well, the plan that I had in taking the show there was that it would drum up enough buzz to get some meetings with production companies and directors and things like that. And that's already
Sure.
happened. I had a couple of big
Oh, come on, meetings.
yeah, meetings in New York City, all this traffic. Um, and so yeah, I have you ever seen John Leguizamo's Freak?
Yes.
Okay, it's like that. The show is like
Yes.
that. So I
Oh
want
my gosh,
to I
yes.
was really influenced by that as a little girl. It was like one of
I
the
saw him in San
oh,
Francisco. So my mom, that's back when I'm pretty sure if I have the timing is right. I think that's when my mom had latinolink.com and we used to get like random tickets to things. And I'm
that.
pretty sure that like I even met him like, like at the backstage, like when he was first starting. And I think that was one of the shows that we saw in San Francisco in like one of those little theaters in the Mission. But yeah, so keep going.
Yeah, it's an amazing show. You guys can watch it on YouTube. Anybody listening,
Yeah,
just John Leguizamo's Freak. It's incredible. It was directed by Spike Lee and in this amazing theater, and it influenced me so much when I was a little girl. And I believe that my show was good enough to do exactly that run
yeah,
and then eventually film it and have lighting and direction and just have it be a thing. It's my one woman show. I don't know that I'm going to be in the one woman show business from now on, but
sure.
I believe that this is good enough to take that as far as possible. And yeah, I'm going to write a book about it, and it's just going to
I mean,
be.
it's giving Whoopi trajectory. We love that.
You know what? I'm gonna just compile a lot of the Black careers that I want, and
Yes.
some Whoopi Goldberg, some
Black
Oprah,
jobs.
some Wanda Sykes, just like whatever I need. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
take some and do it all.
Yes, yes. You I prefer you have black jobs than Trump talk about them. Um
God,
okay,
God.
last but not least, so I could relate just A to connecting with your biological father later in life. Come to find out when I grew up that, like, oh, it was painted that my mom kept me away from him. But
Mm,
come to find out later in life when he traumatized me again, when I was able to consent to the trauma, was that when I was little, and I have no memory of this, but he did kidnap me when I was little, so it does track. That he would call, and every time I would hang up, I would be crying.
mm,
And so then my mom obviously put a stop to that. Like, if you're going to be calling our daughter and every time that she hangs up, she's crying, like, I'm not going to allow that anymore. So that became my mom keeping me away from him.
mm.
And so I reconnected with him in my teen years, which led to kind of reconnecting with him in my early 20s. And he was weird. I went out to see him with my boyfriend at the time when he graduated from like ITT, whatever the fuck.
Mhm.
And because it was cool, like, oh, my dad's graduating from something, like later in life, blah, blah, blah. They end up partying and like drinking and doing drugs. And at one point, he's telling me that I look just like my mom, but like in that kind of way.
Oh,
Like, you look just like like, ew. And
no,
that
no,
was
thank you,
just
sir.
yeah, and that was just the beginning of like weirdness. And I broke up with my dad. And then, yeah, over the years, when like I would be recreating the trauma, now that I'm looking at it with relationships, I very easily and sometimes a little too easily walk away from shit if it's not right. Because if you can break up with your dad, you can break up with anybody.
Yeah.
And so now I've been trying to reframe, like, okay, well, maybe let's just try to attract people in my life that I don't want to break
A lot of
up
work. It's a lot of work to
with.
like reprogram that thing and recognize those patterns. But that's
Yeah.
also a big part of the show is that, it's not necessarily about your dad. It's about anybody in your life that is toxic
Yeah.
and is affecting how you view, being a good person or love and warmth in your life. Like we can't have those people around us. And also like we have to recognize those red flags because we can't stop
Yeah.
them from coming in. Those people get in, but we give them power and authority and a
Yes.
space really. So yeah, I think that breaking up with my dad really empowered me to always be like, look guy, i'm not going to keep I'm not going to keep up and keep putting up with this. If it's
Yeah.
something crazy, I need to leave it on the shelf because I got a lot of things to do. And also like we're taking the lessons forward. Our moms had to sit around and deal and just live a life without
Yes.
love sometimes. And we are putting a stop
Yeah.
to that. I'm really proud of this generation I think we're going to live longer because we're not going to be as stressed about our abusive husbands. I think we're going to
Well,
be
you
okay.
know what a yeah, well, a big part of that, and it is like it happened in my and I think we're on the same age, so I'm assuming your mom's lifetime too, that literally it became legal for them to have their own bank account and their own
Right.
credit card. So
Mhm.
like financial independence as a woman in this country is relatively new when you look at the span of time. And
Yeah.
so I correlate heavily A with B, that
Mhm.
being able to have that financial freedom allows us to make choices of what serves us and what doesn't, you know?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel really blessed to, have my own independent, my own job. I don't have a
Yes.
boss. And to be able to say, like, I'm just going to stay an extra day in this city and do whatever makes me happy. And I just feel so blessed to live like that.
I know, I know. Yeah, and that's another thing, like, I'm trying to date again, and I'm trying to reframe dating and be healthier about dating, but I've built such a cute little life for myself, and yeah, I was in LA recently, and, like, would it be nice to, like, have somebody along? Yes, but could I have banged out 3 podcasts back to back like I did with somebody there all up in my booty? No, I couldn't. So,
Yeah. And because like I think also I'm in the same position, but also because I'm starting to recognize how amazing my life is, the thing that I've built. So I'm just like, if
Ivana.
you're not hyped too,
Yeah.
if I'm not telling you what I'm doing today, I'm about to shoot a commercial. I just found out about my brother. I
Yeah.
got a one woman show.
Yeah.
And you're not like, that's amazing. I'm like, no, you can't really come around it.
Yeah.
I can't have
Yes.
you around it.
Yes, I am manifesting our cheerleaders that they're gonna come
Mm-hmm.
through.
Play the
Okay,
tambourine, boy. Play the tambourine.
yes. We went in heavy off the top because sometimes it'd be like that. I'm top heavy, so I can't help it. So we're gonna just make a hard right. And I alluded to it to the top. One of the things that I feel like has been kind of like the little gossamer strings that have kept us connected is both of our loves for Jay-Z. So if you're picking any Jay-Z song to walk out on stage, like wrestler style, which
Mm.
song is it and why?
Oh man.
Mine is Big Pimpin', cause duh.
Mm, great. Big Pimpin' is great. Um, I want to pick something off Reasonable Doubt, and there's just so many that are good
Yes.
hustler entrance songs.
Yes.
But probably I really want to say something that sounds rude. um Maybe You Can't Knock the Hustle by Jay-Z.
Yeah.
I really like that. I just love that. I love the back when he was still, moving weight. I love that Jay-Z. That he was so raw.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
I'll take some Can't Knock the Hustle for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, Mogul Jay-Z is fun, but yeah. OG
Also,
Jay-Z.
maybe even some 1-900 Hustler, which is like a song where they pretend to be like you calling up and asking them about hustle questions. Like that's an insane beat as well.
Yes. And has being a fan of such a lyricist informed your comedy at all? Or is it just one of those things that like you just use it to hype yourself up?
It's definitely informed my artistry. I mean,
Yeah.
it helped shape my mentality when I first got to New York, which is why I started doing Reasonable Doubt Mondays. And
Sure.
just listening to that album every Monday always reframed my mind. It made me think about, the systems in place and the things that I was trying to accomplish. And I've always liked the way that Jay-Z does business. He's always been an entrepreneurial spirit. And then also I think
Yes.
he makes a lot of references to great black art. Like I don't know many rappers that have referenced Basquiat as much as him.
Yes.
And all of those things are very connected into like things that influenced me a lot. Like Basquiat's story influenced me a
Yeah.
lot. It made
Yeah,
me
yeah.
think about what I was going to do when I got to New York. And so yeah, all those things are really tightly connected, I think.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I didn't even really know about Basquiat until Jay-Z started making reference, and then I really dove down the rabbit hole. And I mean, now I'm in art school, so I'm just learning about all kinds of art.
Yeah.
Part-time, but yeah. Yeah, oh my gosh. I'm just fascinated by art, by the artistic process, all kinds of art.
Mhm.
Yeah, and for me, like the other thing when I think about Jay-Z music, I think about being in the gym because I have tons of like gay pop, and then every once in a while, like a Beanie Siegel or a Jay-Z comes on, and I go from like pop girly to butch in like 3.5 seconds. I love it. It just, it's all the layers. Like Shrek said, we're onions. So we also mentioned a little bit about you being a foster child. Talk to me, like take me back to being a kid. I can't even imagine what that experience was like, and again how that has informed your art over the years, because it has to.
Oh yeah, of course. Well, I think first of all, it gave me a lot of confidence in that right away when I got like the first night in a foster home. I was like, oh, if I don't say something, if I don't speak up for myself and challenge
Mm.
these adults on what they're laying out for me, like this is gonna be your life for the next however long, like that's gonna be my life. It's gonna happen to me.
Was it you? Now I'm like, it just flashed in my mind that like, did you smash
Yeah, I flipped the
a
table.
tape? Oh, tell me that story, please.
Oh yeah, so this was actually in the first foster home that I got put in. So I was like 6, maybe like 5.5, and me and my little brother, who was an infant at the time, we were both kind of pushed into the foster care system overnight, and they had
Yeah.
given me a nice tour of the house. It was a nice, like little, 3-bedroom house, and they had a lot of toys. You could tell they had taken in a lot of kids. They were pros at it. And so at the end of the
Hmm.
tour, they were like, and so this is it, like, welcome home. And I was like, cool, nice, awesome. Where's my little brother at? Because I hadn't
Hmm.
seen him all day. I had been at like kindergarten. And they were like, oh, well, I think because he's such an infant, they sent him somewhere else and blah, blah, blah. And I just remember thinking, like, we had just got into foster care. Like,
Oh,
how
yeah.
could you imagine that splitting us up would make sense? Like, we don't have literally anything else but each other. And I didn't have those words, I was a kid. So instead I just walked over to this little glass table, like a coffee table they had. I grabbed the edge of it and I just flipped it real fast, and it broke into a billion pieces, and they gasped. And I was just like, I think my brother should be here. And they were like, of course, yes. Uh-huh. We'll call them. We'll call them now. Come away from the glass. We're gonna call them, and there's not gonna be an issue. And so then the next day he was there, and it also taught me the power of, like, not just that you can break tables, I guess, but
Standing up for yourself.
and if you make them understand the severity of what they're saying, which I could tell that for them it was routine. Like, they have kids come in here and then they find out they're going to be split up. Like, stuff like that happened all the time. This is back before
Sure.
social workers even had like iPads to keep track of shit. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that influenced me a lot. But also moving around and meeting new kids and needing to like learn how to communicate
Yeah.
with people, be friendly, be personable. And I think it also just made me, which I know sounds really sad, but it just gave me such an appreciation for laughing in general.
Yeah.
I was just
Yeah.
like, laughing is just vacation. I just love it. Life is so hard. And so I
Yeah.
put it on a pedestal. And anytime I watched something that really made me laugh, I was like, this is the best thing ever. This feels so good. I can't wait to like bottle this up and carry it around with me for a while. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think being a foster kid influenced me as an artist and as a person for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, resilience comes up to mind because I moved around a lot as a kid too. Thanks to the Facebook, I reconnected with one of the few sweet friends that I had in my graduating class in high school because I changed high school 3 times in 4 years just because my mom moved around so much, and they were
Mhm.
3 different cities. It's not like like there's changing schools and then there's changing schools.
Right. Yeah.
And so I got bullied a lot. And anyways, so I reconnected with this sweet friend and like I pulled out all kinds of pictures. And it's funny because so Keith Malley, KTG, Keith and the Girl, he jokes when latchkey kids, which is essentially what I was, talk
Mhm.
about being latchkey kids, that like, oh, he wishes that like his parents weren't
Yeah.
home. He wishes he came to an empty home. And then, to me, it's like I consider myself having grown up neglected. And it's one of the things that kind of like has informed my trauma, but also my resilience. And then I can't even imagine. Like it just my heart goes out to you just amplify that by like 10,000. You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
the fact that you're so resilient and that you're able to laugh
Mhm.
because, things like that either make people or break people. And I feel like you fall into the like it made you kind of category. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Even one time in New York City, I was getting my hair braided, like getting some long individual braids. And the
Yeah.
girl was talking to me. I had known her in New York for years, and she was just like, "Are you gonna go home for Christmas?" And I was like, "Oh, no, I don't really do that. I really don't have much family. I was a foster kid, blah blah." And she was just like, "Oh my God, I didn't knew that
Yeah.
about you. Like, that's oh my God." Like, she really was taken aback, and I was like, "Girl, I don't, if you didn't ask me about it, I really wasn't thinking about it. I'm getting my hair done." You know.
Exactly.
I'm
Yeah.
literally getting my hair done. She was just like, I like the way that you look at it like that. Like, that's true. Like, you're present right now. And I'm like, yeah, no, I wasn't thinking about that at all.
Yeah. It's a nice reminder to like not be so tied to our trauma.
Drama.
Okay, before we go into our commercial break, I have a cute little gamelet. It's a rapid fire go this or that. Don't think about it too quickly. Just tell me which one is the one that's for you.
Okay.
Stand up or improv?
Stand up.
Writing jokes or
Really,
performing them?
no, wait, I can barely handle being around improv people. I'm like, well, yeah, what are y'all doing at this party?
That's your yes and. What?
Out of
This isn't
here.
yes and. It's what? Writing jokes or performing them?
Performing them.
Crowd work or prepared material?
Prepared material.
Touring or TV appearances?
Touring.
Reasonable Doubt or The Blueprint?
Reasonable doubt.
New York City pizza or Philly cheesesteak?
Philly cheesesteak all day, baby.
Big stage or intimate club?
The word intimate changes a lot of things.
Ah.
I'll say big stage.
It does sidebar. Does intimate intimidate you?
No, I love it, but also
Oh,
it's like you have much less space to really like enjoy the laughter because it's so intimate. They're right here,
sure.
so you have to
Yeah.
do a specific type. But I do love it as well. But also when you're on a big stage, you can really just dig in because the laughs multiply.
Yeah, and you can get bigger with it. And don't be influenced by the fact that you're doing podcasts or hosting live shows.
Hosting live shows? I don't really love hosting. I'll say podcast.
Of course. Last but not least, heckler or dead silence?
Heckler. Heckler all day, baby. Say something.
Awesome. Well, with that, we're going to take a quick little commercial break and enjoy probably a plug for a project that one of my friends is doing that's either very silly or very gay. So enjoy. Ding.
Hey, we promised everybody that we had a special guest, and indeed, I will deliver. We have a wonderful guest for us tonight, MeMeCherry from the Series of Fortunate Events podcast. Yeah. Hey.
Hey, Mimi.
Hi.
Hi, Mimi. Circumstantially, we have this accompaniment that showed up into our lives. Yeah, there they are.
Yeah.
What up, Play Joe? I've been introduced. This is Play Joe, everybody. Play Joe.
Yeah, so it's our
Throw in the
sister
boo sound
city.
now. Throw in the boo sound now.
Oh, yeah, oh no! Okay, fine. I'm gonna move around the screen a little bit here. Okay, oh my god. Okay. I want to whisper something in Craig's ear since I'm over by
Ooh,
him.
we love whispers around here.
Okay. I love you, and I'm watching you.
And we're back. I hoped you enjoyed that very silly or gay break. I think, you know what? I suspect it was more than likely Crumble. And shout out Phoebe. I love you in my Crumble opinion. We've expanded beyond a podcast. Now she's doing essays on YouTube. Get into it. Okay, so we're going down the comedy part of your many artistic tool belts that you have. Who are your comedy idols and or influences?
I love Dave Chappelle, and I think the Chappelle show influenced me so much. It made me like excited to go to school. I'd be like, oh my God,
Really?
I can't wait to talk about that episode from last night. I would get to school early, just try to get a couple extra minutes in and just talk about the sketches.
That's funny.
But also his stand up. I loved every special he ever had. Wanda Sykes influenced me a lot. I just think she's a real comedian's comedian and just hilarious. Like even her last special, she had bits that I was just like, my jaw was on the floor. Like I can't believe you said that. I can't believe it. And then I always like to give an affirmative action hire to Steve Martin. We fucked with Steve. And his stand-up book influenced me so much. I highly recommend it to anybody that's interested in stand-up. It's called Born Standing Up. It's amazing.
Yes.
And his comedy.
I love that he's the diversity hire.
Yeah, we'll give him one. And when he was that movie, The Jerk. I mean, when I was a kid, that movie to me was. I remember thinking like, it's so silly though, like funny is whatever, but this is like silly in a silly way.
Yeah.
I want to do this when I grow up. I want to make silly things. And
yes, he's so good. Cyrano de Bergerac, even though I messed that up, but that one was so good. And what's the one? Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Oh my God. One of my all-time favorites because the way that you just see him change into these different characters while he's conning people, it's just like, oh,
so silly guy. Really silly
such a silly guy.
I think those the top three.
I can only imagine that in the beginning you have sets that don't go so well. What is it about comedy that makes you come back after you bomb? Because that's the running theme, is that like every comedian, they're a comedian because they came back after they bombed.
Yeah. Well, part of it I think is that it's addicting.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That, like, if I could quantify what it feels like to make a room of people laugh with your idea that you just thought of, it's like it feels like love almost. It's
Yeah.
almost as good as someone actively telling you that they love you. So when you experience that and then suddenly you have a day where they don't love you, you're, in a traumatic relationship.
Yes.
You're immediately in a relationship just like your dad's, and you're like, "Oh, he'll love me next time. I'll be better."
Please love
And
me. Please love me.
yeah, and then you'll be proud of me, and you'll tell me, and so yeah, it's partly that is that it's addicting in that way, and then
Mm.
oh, this is on backwards. Dang. I was like, what is this? Anyway, keeping on. Anyway,
It's the new style. We're just
yeah.
working 2025 style.
Like, I was like, why is this shirt choking me? So yeah, it's addicting, and then also just like being an artist. It's if you have already accepted the part of being an artist, that is, it's you have to fail. Picasso didn't strike it out of the every once in a while he had a painting where people were like, "This looks crazy.
Sure.
Look at these shapes. Get it together.
Yeah.
Are you playing around? What are you playing around?" You
P,
know,
what you doing?
Picasso, come on, you're my guy. So once you have accepted that, I think you get it even more like amped up to get it right, to fix it, to make people understand
Sure.
you. That's what I always say. If a joke is not hitting, it might not be that the thing is not funny. It just might be that you haven't found how to communicate
Yeah. Yeah,
funny,
yeah, yeah.
and that takes time sometimes. You got to fail.
Yeah, I related a lot to drag. I've been a comedy fan for a really long time. I've been a drag fan for a long time now too. I did drag for the first time last year at my live show. Footage to be on this channel at some day, one of these days. It'll probably be episode 500, who knows. But you know, it, it was a choice. Like I had very specific artistic choices, and like I know that like people that know me got it, but like was it the best, drag whatever? No, but it was literally my first time. But like, me, I have high standards. So like did I bomb? Like it was a little bit above a bomb. Like honestly that show, like it was a very friends and family, like not a lot of people came. The venue did not really help me promote it. And so
Because
it
they
kind
don't
of
care. Because they don't care.
and mind you, I sold out their bar middle of the day on a Saturday and
Did I bet you did?
yes. And so then earlier this year, I did like a pop-up number. And it was in the blurb of it in between not drinking and I'm not drinking again now, but I was
Me
drinking at that
too.
time. Oh my God, we could talk about that. But that number, I was drinking then, and I was so nervous that I was just like drinking, drinking, drinking. So I low-key blacked out a little bit when I performed, but I saw the videos and I did great.
Mhm.
And then I got myself booked for a show that I just did a couple of weeks ago, and I very soberly requested to be booked. And for a month, I prepared for it,
Mhm.
and I did so well.
Nice.
And it was like, I went from like the bomb and like, oh no, I'm gonna get this right.
Mhm.
And to then I'm still mentally there. I'm still mentally at that performance because it was
I
just
love that.
such a dream.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it is, and it's because it's addicting.
Mhm.
That
Feels really good.
audience reaction.
And afterwards, people are like, "You were so
Oh
good." They just,
my God, you're so awesome.
yeah, like I gotta follow you. When do you do? And you're just like, "Suck my dick." Yeah, this is head. I'm getting
Yes.
head after the show. This is amazing.
One word, if I was going to use a word to describe your style, is authentic. You're very authentic. But
Yeah.
one thing about comedy is if it's, you know, popular or it makes it through to the masses, there's something, right, that's kind of like not mass produced, but like, basically long question short, how do you balance, trying to make comedy for everybody while still maintaining your authenticity?
Mm, it's a constant struggle, especially
Yeah.
because since the pandemic, the comedy industry has changed. Like the types of people that used to sell out before, who were doing it with authentic talent, are sometimes selling out now, Whereas people who've been investing in clips and doing lots of crowd work and writing random sketches and posting them online, they're selling out consistently. And
Mm,
I think it's almost a good kind of like microcosm for it is like this recent Drake and Kendrick beef.
mm,
Like, authentically, Kendrick is an amazing rapper. He's an amazing writer and performer, and Drake is what Drake is. It's not
hmm.
that we're gonna stop listening to Drake. I
He's
will rap
McDonald's.
Drake. I'll rap some Drake. And if I'm at the airport, I'm rapping some Drake.
I'm at the
I got
airport.
some McDonald's. I'm rapping some Drake. You know,
Yeah,
but if I rent a car and I'm driving in the desert and I really want to vibe out, I'm gonna listen to some Kendrick and like really have a real
sure.
thing. So I think that like when we have to pick who we want to be, I ultimately would like to be Kendrick, who eventually does get on top and is has the track of the year and inflames all of hip hop again. I think there's space now for the authentic performer if they hold true to their art to
Yeah.
break through the mess because he's always going to be stronger than him. And I feel the same way. Like there are comics that I sometimes open for and they're much bigger than me because of online. And I bury them. I bury them in the 20 minutes I have before they have to do an hour in front of their sold out crowd. And then when the masses are leaving, they stop me and say, "You were better than her." And I say, "She knows that. She
Mm-hmm.
knows that. He knows that. They know I'm
Mm-hmm.
better than them. But they also know that think the powers that be have given them more tools and more opportunities than me. So this is part of it. They have to let me bury them because
Mm-hmm.
it is what it is. And I respect the people that let me do it because I'm not gonna hold back. I'm not gonna take it easy on you. You
Yeah.
know what it is.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. Well, good for you. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm hoping with this podcast is at the end of the day, I'm not Call Her Daddy. I'm not Keith and the Girl. I'm MeMeCherry. This is Series of Fortune Events. It's a glittery pirate ship radio show. And, it's silly and sometimes we cry, we laugh. And I hope that just staying true to myself by having, you know, all kinds of people on the show will hopefully ring true to whatever audience it is that's going to find me someday.
Yeah, I think, and I teach a comedy class, and I'm always pushing on them to like embrace the things that make them different even like that
Yeah.
that we're special. We could have been a factory cutout of whatever community we came from, but look how different we are. That's
Yeah.
what you have to lean into, and the people that need it, well, they'll appreciate it.
My drag mother says to lean into I'm quoting loosely, lean into the cringe because it means you're close to a breakthrough.
I agree.
Shout out Mama Celeste.
Yeah.
Tell me, do you have a set process for your writing process when you're writing, or do you approach each project as its own thing and then new processes come up along the way depending on the project?
Usually as their own thing, unless it's like really within the wheelhouse of like I'm just writing jokes about a specific topic or for a specific show. Um, but yeah, I just talk to myself just like this. I just sit here and I'll be like, what if I say this? And I just say something and I, edit it. Sometimes I'll post it online. I'll post it on Facebook. And if it gets a good amount, then I'll edit it to make it funnier and post it on Twitter. And then if it's, doing well there, then I'll take it to the stage and just kind of work out what that premise is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I write all the time, and then also sometimes I don't. So it's very
Yeah, yeah.
sporadic. It's like when it strikes me, and
Yes.
when I need to like really sit down and write, I really just kind of make my room needs to be clean and things need to be put away, and it just needs
Yes.
to be like a good vibe where I feel like if there's not blank space in my space, like a blank table, then my brain is also full and I can't write as well.
Yeah, my mom says a cluttered space is a cluttered brain.
Mhm. I've like every man that I've ever lived with, it's always been like, look, I'm an artist, okay? You can't just empty your pockets on the fucking table when you come in here. Put that shit away, man. Put that shit. I can't even think. Put it
Your
away.
stuff is too loud. Your stuff is too loud.
How to write these jokes.
I can relate to that too. You touched a little bit on sobriety, and it's interesting because I was preparing for us, and I was just deep diving on anything I could find on YouTube, and I found a podcast that you did about a year ago. Gosh, I forget her name. I'm so sorry, but another comedian, and it was like two of you in a studio, and you were talking about like your party days and your drinking days and like all kinds of drinking stories, which I have many, 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 many,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
why I am now 4.5 months sober because in 20 years, I think I drank enough for 60 years.
We did.
We did it. What made you embrace, because I'm California sober, admittedly.
Me too. Me
Um,
too.
yes, thank you. High five. What what made you decide to walk down the path of alcohol sobriety? Part of it for me was that I got catfished.
Oh, dang. I mean, I
Yeah.
catfish while sober, so I don't know. Um, I think mostly it was me being worried about my health. Like as
Yeah.
my career gets better, the drinks are top shelf and even more free than
Hmm.
ever before. Like these bartenders won't even let me tip them sometimes.
Yes.
Uh, and there were a lot of times, especially with flying a lot, there were times where I didn't always feel great, like on a plane after
Yeah.
binge drinking. Felt like I wasn't able to give as much if I tried to work out. And it
Yeah.
influences a lot of our food decisions. I really feel like
Yes.
when I'm drunk, I'm suddenly hungrier than I've ever been in my life and will do anything to chew something up. And it's just like
Yeah.
not always a great decision. And I had a check in with my regular doctor, and he was like, when you get a drink ticket at a comedy show, are you not allowed to say no thank you? And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Mm.
I don't come in here and tell you how to use your stethoscope. Like I don't, let me do my job.
I don't tell you where to put your thermometer.
You don't know this is my pay. The drink tickets are part of my pay. I'm going to drink my pay. But then I really had a hard conversation with myself where I was like, there's been times when you woke up on the road and you were like, how did I get back in this hotel? How did
Yeah.
I even get back here? I don't even remember. And it's like,
Yeah.
it's scary. I would hate to be old one day. I mean, I would be blessed to be old.
Older.
Yeah, it's older, but I would hate to be like, yeah, well, they tested it and they found out that it was all the rum that did this to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was it? The tequila, I think. That was the
Yeah.
main contributor. So
Yeah, it's
yeah.
funny because you say that because when I was watching the podcast and I can so relate, you were like, "Oh no, I'm a tequila drinker now because I feel better the next day." I'm like, "Oh, girl, I've been there too."
I was
When you're
like,
negotiating, you're
tequila has
negotiating with
no carbs.
alcohol.
Tequila has no carbs. It's made with
Clear,
agave. That's
clear, you're in the clear.
all natural. It's with some ice, a smoothie. We
It's
healthy.
basically a salad.
Agave. Come on, that sounds healthy.
Yeah, for me it was getting catfished because I felt like I wasn't like with it and like I was just like a little too in denial and delulu.
Mm,
And I just between the alcohol and the panini and the depression, like I low key gained like 70 pounds,
yeah,
which
a lot
I'm
of
30
people did though.
down.
Hell yeah, get it go.
Yeah.
A lot of people did though.
Yeah, so I'm 30 down now, which quitting the alcohol helped a lot. I still have like about 40 to go. Which is fine, whatever. But it's just yeah, like the working out, it makes such a difference. I basically now low key traded drinking at night to waking up at 4 in the morning and going to the gym.
Yeah. Okay. We'll take one win if we can.
I know, and I'm trying to like make sure that I'm not just replacing one addiction with another. So we're slowly
I'd
checking
rather
in.
have some healthy addictions than I think, we've tried the other stuff.
I know exactly. But and the hot people at the gym, they just make it so easy to go there every day.
Mhm.
Just look at them
So,
and hit on them and have them ignore you. I have another gamelet for you. It's on the
yeah.
podcast. So I go to the gym and I spent a month preparing for my drag number. So I was literally like on the treadmill practicing my lip sync and then I would go practice my splits in the middle of the gym. And of course people are staring at me. And so of course the hottest guy, when he looks at me, my Delulu brain thinks that he's into me. So I left him a little note with like the front desk guy, like, yo, I did the recon. I was like, so tell me about the guy, blah, 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 da, da, da. They're like, oh, this is his name. He really keeps to himself. Really don't know much about him. I was like, oh, give him this note. And so I left like a podcast sticker and a little note, and I never heard from him. And then my Delulu brain, welcome to my Delulu brain. Yesterday, he's at the gym and excuse me, it's cannabis. And we're both walking out around the same time. He's in front of me going down the stairs. So I'm like, okay, hang back. Like, don't like, don't be like right behind him or whatever. So
Mhm.
I hang back. I'm walking slow. And I notice that he's holding the door open for somebody that's like walking by. And I'm like, hang back even more. And then I come back and he's still standing there holding it for me. And I'm like, oh. And then I'm like, oh, thank you. And then he smiled at me, but he was on the phone. Because if
Mm.
not, I would have been like, okay, I would have
Okay.
probably done the like, I know you ignored my note, but I just have to tell you that you're so cute. I feel like the universe is saving me from embarrassing myself even more.
I mean, I can't give too much advice because I sometimes I'm like, Chanel, you're a little too heavy-handed. You need to stop just.
See, exactly. But I'm a manifester, I make shit
No.
happen.
I also think that like we
And
have a whole generation of men that are not very good at being forward, so it's like safer if we can decide.
I know. And to quote my dear friend Charles, they should be scared.
Hmm.
Okay, so I have another. I was gonna say the last one, but I have another last one after this. I have one more gamelet for you. Another gamelet for you. I'm sorry. I'm like, he's so hot. It's distracting. Okay, come back, Mariana. You're doing a podcast. You're not at the gym. Okay, here's our gamelet. Comedy sketch pitch. I'm gonna give you a very random scenario, basically a trio of people, places, and things. And you're gonna give me just quick off the top of your head, if you were pitching this as a sketch, how do you pitch this as a sketch? You got it?
Like a comedy sketch,
Uh-huh.
like for SNL.
So, for example, or whatever, like, yeah, whatever, insert sketch show.
Hmm.
You're pitching a sketch with, for example, a Jay-Z concert, a talking cat, and an open micer.
Okay, I don't like this game. I just want to say that up top.
Then we can scratch it. We can scratch it. I take notes. I
I'm
take
willing to
notes.
give it a try. I'm willing to give it a try.
Just do that one. We'll just stick
Okay.
to the one scenario.
Okay, yeah, okay. So
Jay-Z concert, a talking cat, and an open micer.
yeah, okay. So the open micer is clearly a guy named Rob with a flannel shirt.
Okay.
But he, he got an Airbnb in New York City, and
Okay.
he gets there, there's a cat, right?
Yeah.
Big deal, cats are chill.
See, you are going with it.
So
You are
then,
going with it.
yeah, for sure. So he's shocked by the note that the Airbnb people left. They're like, hey, we have tickets to some Jay-Z. If you want to go, we're gone. You might as well take it while you're here. Consider it a perk. Blah blah. Don't clean. Don't take care of our cat. Basically.
Sure. Thank you.
And
As a thank you for taking care of our cat. Here's some
yeah,
Jay-Z tickets.
the dates worked out. He goes to leave, and the cat's like, "I like Jay-Z," and he's like, "What the fuck is that? What's going on here?" And the cat converses with him calmly and convinces him, "You need to take me with you." So they go to the concert. They have great seats. Jay-Z is like, "What the fuck is that? Is that a cat in the crowd?" And he's like, "No." And the cat's like, "Hell yeah, it is. Her, nigga. Her." Jay-Z's like, "Bring that cat up here." They go viral immediately from this moment. The Airbnb hosts see the video. They're pissed. They're
How
pissed.
dare you take my cat?
We said you could go to the concert. This cat talks too much already. Now we're gonna have to hear about a fucking show. You're ruining everything. It's the worst case scenario. Now the cat has its own TikTok account, and they've turned their lives upside down. And so that sketch is called Cat Nanny. And that's what we've got.
See, you did good. That was great.
I tried
And you know
really
what?
hard. I
We
tried
don't need
really
any. We don't need any more. Sold. It's sold.
It's not gonna get better. It's not gonna get better.
Sell it to Netflix.
When the Patreon see this, they're gonna tell you, she was smoking weed every time you look down. higher and higher.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I feel like this is a great pivot into tell me what you're looking forward to down the line. What can people be on the lookout for those of us that are manifestors? What are we manifesting for you? Who are we tweeting at?
Yeah.
Who do we have to bother to get you a job?
I really I want to tour with my one woman show.
Yes.
That's really important. I want to tell jokes. I'm telling jokes all over the country that for the rest of the year, and also outside the country. I just booked some gigs in Aruba in
Ooh.
December. So I'm really enjoying seeing the world and telling jokes. And you can always follow me and just
Are
see
you
what
going to be in LA at all?
I think so. Maybe like at the end of this month.
Okay.
Some things to schedule like later on today. But as far as manifesting, I would like 2 divorces. I'd like I really want my Wikipedia page to show 2 spouses. I want their names to be preferably clickable. It doesn't have, and they don't have to have a photo, but I want them to be somebody. So,
So we're ordering the Kim Kardashian package.
you know what I'm saying? A quick wedding, and then we move on.
2 out of 3 clickable links.
Mhm. At least, and I want to keep expanding in my writing and really finding my voice more and more and more.
Oh.
And it's my life is really good right now. I got to tell you, it's great. I'm so busy and so many things I'm excited about and so many opportunities. People are just asking me like, what idea do you have for a digital series? Like maybe we'll pay for it. I have an
Nice.
idea for a play. Maybe we'll pay for it. And it's like it's still pitching. You don't know if they're gonna make the thing. But to
Of
even have that
course.
opportunity to go, have a car come pick me up and take me to a nice office and then they say like,
Yes.
oh, let's just hear what you got. I'm like, oh, here, I got things I've been thinking. Cat nanny. And it's you'll love it. Just go with me on it. Um so I hope that I can, also like maintain my sobriety and
Watch you develop Cat Nanny.
you're gonna
And
get
see,
an email.
I envisioned that the Airbnb host's name is Sabrina.
Mhm. He's like, I've been doing this for years, keeping this cat inside.
But you don't find out that her name is Sabrina till the end.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a full circle moment.
Yes. Well, I can only envision bigger and better things for you. And please try to get yourself booked in the Bay Area, the San Francisco Bay Area. That's where I'm at because that will make it very easy for me to come see you. But if you do end up in LA, I do pop down there once in a while. So I'll try to pop down there for you too.
Nice.
So before we share your social media links and we say goodbye to the plane and the pirate ship and all the references that I love to use, I have one more gamelet for you.
Okay,
This one will be hopefully easier. It's Finish the Lyric, all Jay-Z songs.
we will
And
see.
I these are pretty
Okay.
gimme.
Nice.
If you're having I feel like I should like Shakespearean read them or like put like a different
That'll make them more,
different
yeah.
tone.
That'll make
If you're having girl problems, I feel bad for you, son.
I got 99 problems and girl ain't one.
Boom.
And a hoe ain't one.
This one it says I got 99 problems, but an expletive ain't one.
Oh.
Thank you, ChatGPT. You're so respectful. I think it's a bitch, but yeah.
Yeah, it might be bitch.
Okay, next lyric. Big pimpin', spending cheese. We be
Big pimpin', spending cheese, and we be big pimpin' on BLAD. On BLAD.
Yes, on BLADs. Yes.
Right.
Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun,
I
dun,
remember
dun.
Googling that. I was like, what the BLAD?
Okay, I know. I don't even know what it is either, too, but
I
we had
remember.
it. Next, lyric. You gotta get that dirt off your
Shoulder, get that dirt off your shoulder. I
Bam,
used to
bam, bam,
love
bam, bam.
that.
Oh, that beat. Ooh,
Man, that was great. In the music video,
so
my
good.
glove compartment's locked, so is the trunk in the back.
So good.
So many people went to jail listening to Jay-Z. They were like, no, it's locked. They were like, well, unlock. We have a dog here. We just smelled drugs and you open your fucking glove. Give us under arrest.
Okay. We have two more. Can I get a whoop whoop?
Dang, can I get a whoop whoop? To all of the he said it so fast. To all of the ladies that and they got some figure without can I get a whoop whoop to these I don't know. I don't remember.
This
But that's
one.
only because I've been gardening. That's the only reason. I haven't been
Yes,
gardening.
we love gardening in the morning, and in the afternoon
I've
and the
been rapping
evening.
better.
Can I get a whoop whoop to all my people that don't got love for expletive?
Oh, yes, expletive.
And last but not least, and this is one of those that whenever I hear this phrase, I immediately fill in this blank, even when it's not related to this song.
Yeah.
So the last lyric for today: allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is.
Oh, H to the O-V.
Yes.
Okay.
I used to move snowflakes by the
O-V.
OZ.
C-O and the R-O-C.
Yes. But so anytime I hear allow me to reintroduce myself or allow me to introduce myself, I always immediately go, my name is Hope.
I love it. Also, did you see that Dame Dash, his dentures fell out while he was on
Stop
live?
it. Stop it.
Yeah. He was on live
Oh,
and they fell out of his
dang.
mouth. And he like whoop, 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 put him back in. It was like, haha, anyway. And they were like, no, screen recorded, got it.
Well, to quote one of your idols doing another idol, cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Yeah.
Especially when you rub it in your gums.
I was like, dang. I was like, you ain't got no upper teeth, Dame.
That's a lot of gum rubbing. A lot of gum rubbing in your
I
early
thought
years.
you was good at business, Dame.
No.
Dang.
No. Yeah. Yeah. No, he wasn't a businessman. He was barely a businessman. Okay, where can all the people in my beautiful audience find you on social media?
You guys, you can follow me on all the apps at Chanel Ali. That's Chanel like the perfume. Ali like
Yes.
Muhammad.
Ooh.
I wrote that for you to remember.
Icons only.
And Punch Up Live for my dates when I'm gonna be, where I'm gonna be, or just hit me up on Instagram. Just send me a DM and be like, yo, this is where I'm at. I'll let you know.
Yeah, cute. We love that. We love an accessible artist. Please, if you like supporting independent art like this glittery pirate ship radio show, we now have a Patreon. And if you're watching the podcast, you can see some of the beautiful stickers you get in the mail by being any of the levels of the Patreon. You could be a honey tier, a sugar tier, or a caramel tier, and you're going to get 1 or 2 stickers in the mail every month. So if you're in the honey tier, you get a production credit, you get access to the back catalog that's slowly being built out, basically Disney style. The old episodes are going into the vault. You get behind the scenes content like the hot cam that you enjoyed from today, and you get 1 sticker and 1 little handwritten note from me in the mail every month. If you are in the sugar tier, you get all of the above, but you get 2 stickers in the mail and 1 note, because unless there's 2 of you in your house, I'll write 2 notes. And if you are a caramel tier member, and I don't have it next to me, but you get the production credit, you get the back catalog, you get the hot cam, you get the 2 stickers in the mail, you get the 1 or 2 notes, but you also every 6 months get a t-shirt in the mail. So please support this glittery pirate ship radio show so that it can sail even higher winds. And last but not least, my new baby, the Whisper Lounge Project. Whisper Lounge. What is the Whisper Lounge, you ask? It's a safe place for your secrets. You know why? Because your secrets are safe with Mimi. If you go to SOFEpod.com/whisper, SOFEpod.com/whisper, you're going to find a link where you can send me all your little secrets. They can be funny little secrets. They can be naughty little secrets. They can be dirty little secrets. You know you want to unload. Send them my way because your secrets are safe with Mimi. SOFEpod.com/whisper. How is that? What do you think?
That was great. And
Okay, awesome.
you have good ASMR voice.
Oh, thank you.
You have a YouTube?
This is on the
Okay.
YouTube.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
you start that whisper shit on YouTube, you could really get some coin.
I know I'm trying, but right now what I need, I have the gumption, I have the drive. All I need is the whispers. So
Hell
send
yeah.
me your little secrets. I don't want to generate them by Chat GPT. I could do that. I don't want to do that. I want actual secrets. Send me your secrets so I can eat them up. Chanel, you are an amazing talent. I am so honored to have spent time with you. If you want stickers, shoot me a note. I'll send you some. You don't have to be a part of the Patreon. I'll just send them to you as a thank you.
This is my whole career. I did all this for just to get some free.
Drink tickets that you can say no to and stickers in the mail.
Mhm.
And I hope to see you in person one of these days.
Hell yeah. I'll let you know when I'm West Coast and hit me anytime you come over here.
For sure, I will.
And I'm proud of you and I hope you have a good day.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Have a good day.
Yeah.
Bye.